This is Dave Johnson, a supervisor in a distribution warehouse. He's been with the company for over 18 years and a supervisor for 5 of those years. Dave is well respected by his peers. Having worked his way up through the company, he's also popular with hourly employees. His normal work routine is just that, routine. Today, however, he will find himself right where you could be, in the middle of an accident, where the responsibility for controlling everything during the initial response to the accident rests with you.
Well, it's our new quality supervisor. Congratulations, Lisa. You deserve it.
Thanks, Dave.
So tell me, how does it feel to be out here on the floor where the real work goes on instead of stuck away in that old musty QC lab, huh?
Give me a break, Dave. You know I've been out here before.
Yeah, right. How are we going to reduce accidents if we can't even wipe up spills? We'll give maintenance a call.
Dave in the warehouse.
What's that, Dave?
Call Jim Smith at extension 222.
Dave in the warehouse, please call Jim Smith at extension 222.
What now?
Jim Smith.
Morning, Mr. Smith. What can I do for you?
Hi, Dave. Listen, have you seen where the third shift placed that pallet with computer equipment?
Oh, you mean the one that's headed to the north office?
Yeah, that's it. Look, we've got a truck in bay number 1 that leaves in 5 minutes. Can you get that pallet down to the loading dock before they leave?
No problem. We'll get right on it.
Good man. I knew I could count on you. Say, if I don't see you before I leave, tell your crew I said to have a great holiday.
Well, thanks. You do the same.
Morning, Dave.
Oh, hello. Oh, you're the new guy, aren't you, Bob, right?
Yeah, right. The lady out in personnel, she's sitting in for someone. She sent me here and said that I could finish new hire training after the holidays.
Well, great. We could sure use your help. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Dave.
And now, if I remember, your application says you know how to drive a forklift, right?
Mm-hmm. At the company I just came from, I drove one for 10 years.
Good, because I need you to get that pallet of computer equipment right there down to the loading dock in the next 2 minutes so they can get it on the truck going north.
Great. Which forklift do you want me to use?
Just use that one right there, and hurry, okay?
Oh, Dave, did you want me to do a pre-use inspection first?
Well, you bet I do, after you get that down there. Look, Bob, you're absolutely right. We should do a pre-use first, but we got to get that pallet to the loading dock. Now, do it quickly, but be safe. Safety is important around here. Matter of fact, I got to have a little talk with maintenance right now about leaving oil on the floor by the loading dock. I put one of those wet floor signs by, so stay clear, all right?
You got it.
Maintenance? Yeah, who am I talking to? JD? Hey, buddy, this is Dave in shipping. How's it going? Look, man, you know why there's oil on the floor down by the loading dock? Well, remember our safety program. If you spill it, you clean it up. Well, purchasing ought to have some sort of material. Yeah, well, I guess they took an early vacation. Yeah. All right, everybody, listen up. Chris, go to the phone, call the operator, tell her to page the first aid team and emergency services. Lisa may have a broken leg. Stay on the line with her until she gets all the information she needs. Sandy, stay with Lisa, keep her calm and still. Let her know help's on the way.
Oh, my phone.
Bob. JD, do me a favor. Take Bob to the break area and keep him calm. Stay with him until he calms down. All right.
This is Chris in the warehouse. There's been an accident.
What?
Look, I need you to write this down. First, we need you to call the first aid team to Rack 21. That's right, Rack 21. It's Lisa Evans. She hurt her leg. She's conscious, but call an ambulance just in case.
Okay, Chris. Keep me posted.
All right, thanks, Renee.
Sam.
Yeah.
Will you go to the safety office and get a camera?
Yeah.
Thanks. Now, the rest of you guys, tape off this area, and please don't let anybody touch anything. Sure looks like this could have been a lot worse.
Lisa was inspecting some of the shipping labels that were on some of the boxes that were located on, I think, level 2 of Rack 21. I walked by and she grabbed me and said, you know, can you see some of these numbers that are on one of the boxes because it's too high for me to see? And I said, well, I can't see them either, but, you know, let me get you a ladder. And she said, no, let me climb up on the rack. And I said, no, let me get you a ladder. It's not very safe for you to do that. You might get hurt. She must have climbed up there anyway because it took me a while to get the ladder.
So she climbed up on the middle rack?
Well, I didn't see the exact one, but I mean, I must have been gone a long time because, I mean, I went to the tool closet and it was locked, so I had to go to purchasing to try to find a key. And of course, they weren't there. I finally found the ladder near maintenance, but by the time I got back, I heard someone yell, "Look out!" And Bob, the new guy, had knocked Lisa off the rack with his forklift. I mean, I tried to get over there as fast as I could. I got the boxes off her leg.
Well, you saw me verifying shipping numbers in my morning QC audit. Some of the boxes on Rack 21 were too high for me to read. Chris happened to be walking by, so I asked him to help. He couldn't see the number either, so he was gonna climb on the rack to get it. I stopped him because I didn't want him to get hurt. So he said that he would go and find a ladder. I continued to check the other numbers. And then the last thing I remember was that I kneeled down and I placed my clipboard on the floor so I could see to another box in the back. When all of a sudden, this new guy on the forklift, he yells, "Look out." And then I see him lose control of the forklift. It just all happened so quickly. I didn't have time to move. My leg got pinned underneath some of the boxes. Chris was there to help me lift the boxes off.
When I started down the ramp, I hit the brakes, but nothing happened. Then I started pumping the brakes, but once again, no response. When I got to the bottom of the ramp, I tried to turn the wheels to avoid hitting that inspector lady. I mean, I even tried yelling, "Look out," but she was kneeling down right over there, and that load went right for her. I mean, the forklift even came to rest in that oil over there that you told me to look out for.
But that doesn't matter. The oil on that floor did not cause that forklift to go out of control. In fact, the seals for the forklift brakes, that's just another example of where purchasing is cutting costs in a needless way. They don't seat properly. And when they don't seat properly, they can leak. In fact, that kid was driving a forklift with no brake fluid and no brakes, for that matter. You know, Patrick, third shift driver? Well, he found a puddle of fluid near the forklift, and he found that it had no brakes when he did a pre-use inspection. He brought the form to me. I entered it in the maintenance log. Now, I was going to fix it on the third shift, but that overhead line just took too long. Now, we just left the forklift where it stopped near the pallets so nobody got hurt when they tried to move it. Now, we really didn't need to tag out this forklift. I was going to get right on it. Bottom line is, that new kid, he told me he didn't do a pre-use inspection. That kid shouldn't have been on that forklift in the first place. He'd have found that defect if he'd have followed the procedure of doing pre-use inspection like Patrick did the night before.
Now, Lisa Evans, she recently transferred from the QC lab to QC supervisor. She has all of the training from working inside the lab, but that's it. That's it.
J.D. Allstott?
J.D. Now, J.D. Allstott, you know he's been here for over 30 years, okay? But his last training was over 5 years ago when he had that lockout, tag-out training. His last forklift workshop was over 10 years ago.
10 years?
10 years ago.
Wow.
Speaking of which, you know, I see here that you haven't had any training since you became a supervisor.
Here's that maintenance log you wanted, and here's the entry for those failed forklift brakes.
Uh-huh. Well, where's the entry for that overhead line you talked about?
Right here.
All right. What about all this other stuff that hasn't been done yet?
What?
I said, what about all this other stuff that hasn't been done yet?
Look, there are only 2 of us full-time now. I've been pulling double shift 3 times a week for the last 6 months.
Well, J.D., old buddy, you ought to have yourself a mighty fine vacation with all that overtime pay, don't you think? Yeah.
I guess I can't complain. I gotta go now.
Thanks, J.D.